Good afternoon, everybody. Hope everybody's day is going fantastic. I'm just sipping on some coffee here in my gorgeous gold tumbler. You guys know I love to drink coffee during the day when I talk about perfumes. And this afternoon, I thought I would go over some of the Chloe fragrances with you because I've recently come into acquisition of a couple of them. And as you guys know from previous videos, I was really unimpressed with the Roses de Chloe, which I have sitting on the right on my tray. So Chloe fragrances are very light, very classy, very feminine, very timeless, very unoffensive. They all have these kind of light floral, just like you're in a garden, kind of accords with a little bit of woody notes, some fruity notes in some of them, and they're all very soft, but very elegant and very feminine and very good for the daytime. I know a lot of people have said that the original Chloe Eau de Parfum, which I have sitting here, is like their holy grail perfume. Like they've gone through so many bottles, they could not live without it. They just love it. So I had to see what all the hype was about. And of course, there's no testers out right now, and it's been a really long time since I've actually smelled the Chloe fragrances. So I'm just going to start off with the one that I purchased the longest time ago, which was the Roses de Chloe. This was one of the very first blind buys I did in the beginning of isolation or quarantine. I love the bottle. I love the pink bow. I think it is so pretty. It looks so elegant and so chic sitting out as decor or on a perfume tray. It just looks beautiful. However, the problem I had with this is that I really didn't find it had enough depth for me. That's because I usually choose things like Oriental vanillas, gourmand fragrances, and things that have a little bit more sweetness and some depth to them. I really like woody notes. I really like patchouli, praline, and iris, and tonka bean, and things like that. And of course, there's nothing like that in this fragrance. This is a very light rose fragrance. When I spray it, I get pretty much all rose. Like it's a very, very fresh cut. You literally just put a bouquet of roses down on the table. That's what this fragrance is. It is nice. I do get a little bit of some other floral notes in there. Now that I go back and smell it, my nose is starting to be a little bit more well-tuned. I'm able to pick up on some of that stuff. So it's a lovely fragrance, but like I had told you guys, just not one that I'm planning to wear a whole lot. So I've had it here kind of as decor, also offering to sell it to anybody who wanted to purchase it, as I no longer have a receipt or a way to return it. But it is a nice, light, rosy, feminine fragrance. Now, the second one was Chloe Eau de Parfum. This is a really gorgeous scent. I actually like this one. This is one that I do plan to keep in my collection. This has only 3 notes in it, so it has rose, vanilla, and patchouli. It is still very soft like all of the other fragrances, but this one is the only one that really has kind of that gourmand, deep patchouli vibe about it. That said, it is still very light. It's definitely not a gourmand by any means, and it's not like a deep oriental smelling or woody smelling fragrance by any means. When you first spray this fragrance, you get quite a lot of rosy notes, very light, fresh, just like all the other Chloes are. But then shortly thereafter, you will start to pick up on that vanilla. And then if you spray it on your skin and you wait a little bit, that vanilla and that patchouli really starts to play together nicely with my skin chemistry. And it starts to smell like a luxurious kind of a vanilla high-end soap almost, like a very clean, vanilla, rosy, soapy smell, which I really like. It doesn't smell harsh or like sharp or anything like that. It just smells very close to the skin, very feminine, very clean, very pretty. Because these fragrances are so light, and also because we all suffer from something called olfactory fatigue, which is basically you can't smell your fragrances a little while after spraying them on yourself because your nose gets used to it. However, these scents for me are some of the worst for that. Like, at least if I spray myself with La Vie Belle or Mon Guerlain, I can still smell myself, you know, a couple of hours later. If I walk outside or something, I can really tell that I'm wearing perfume. I find it hard to do with all of the Chloe fragrances. Sometimes I spray it and I have no idea if anybody can even smell me. That being said, I did receive a compliment when I wore this perfume the other day. So that kind of reaffirmed that yes, it is noticeable. People can tell you're wearing it and they like it. So I was actually sitting in a car and the person got into the car and they said, "Did you spray perfume while I was gone?" And I said, "No." I said, "How come?" And they said, "Oh, it smells like you sprayed perfume." And I said, "Oh, really? What does it smell like?" And he said, "It smells like roses and vanilla." He's like, "It smells good." I was like, okay. So apparently people can tell when you're wearing this fragrance. So that kind of solidified for me that this was one that was worth keeping, because up until that point, I really wasn't sure because it was so light. But it is a gorgeous vanilla, patchouli, and primarily rose fragrance. The bottle is absolutely exquisite. I love the little speckles on the bow. I love the color. The Chloe bottles are just among some of the nicest bottles. So that is the Chloe Absolue de Parfum. Okay, so the last one that has come into my collection here is the Chloe Eau de Parfum, so the original. And I think this must be the new formulation, obviously. I have a feeling that the old formulation probably was better because I don't recall it smelling this clean and this light. I remember when I smelled Chloe fragrances in the past, they were quite sharp and quite present. To me, these aren't very present. Like, I can hardly smell these at all, spraying in the box, on paper, on my skin, in the air. I have a really hard time telling if I'm even wearing something or if I even sprayed something. They're so light, which is what is nice. It makes them good for summer, makes them good for hot weather. Very refreshing, very inoffensive. But anyways, so this Chloe is supposed to have more fruity notes. It's much more complex than the other two that you see sitting on the tray. This one actually, I believe, has lychee or some other fruity notes in it. I'll put them up on the screen for you. This is the one that everybody says is their holy grail. Like, I recently watched a perfume video and the girl had gone through 2 large bottles of this and said it was her favorite thing ever and she couldn't be without it. And I was like, okay, I have to see what all the hype is about. Like, I don't remember what it smells like, but I'm gonna go get it because I just need to see what I'm missing. It must be the best thing ever. Like, and I got home and I sprayed it on the box, on paper, on myself, in the air. And honestly, it's so light. The only difference between this one and the Absolue de Parfum is that this one doesn't have that vanilla patchouli accord. It doesn't have any sort of a sweet skin scent, whereas the Absolue has a little bit of a warm vanilla skin scent vibe. But I was really hoping this would be a little bit sharper, have more presence. I was honestly totally underwhelmed. I would have a hard time telling a difference between the Eau de Parfum and the Absolue de Parfum. The roses, you can definitely tell a difference because the roses one, you definitely get different floral accords, heavy on the rose. It has a little bit more of a presence. But yeah, I just was completely underwhelmed with this fragrance. I know a lot of people love it and maybe it's one of those ones that would grow on me over time, but I was really hoping for something a little more groundbreaking when I sprayed this. So I'd be interested to know your guys' thoughts. Do you wear Chloe? Do you have a favorite Chloe perfume? By the way, I have tried the Nomad, and that one is very like fresh, kind of like a free spirit, nature-like, but with some green apple. Like, it's very citrusy and zesty. Honestly, it would probably be my favorite because it has some presence and it has some good lasting power. I didn't buy it though, however, because I just didn't love the scent. But in terms of performance and presence, I feel the Nomad has presence. Obviously, people can tell you're wearing them because I've had compliments when I've worn this one. But for me, I'm just kind of underwhelmed. I don't know. So anyway, I'd be interested to know your guys' thoughts. I will be keeping the Chloe Absolue de Parfum because this one does have pretty good performance. It smells really nice. It smells, like I say, like a very clean, rosy, fresh. I feel elegant when I wear it. I feel very clean. I feel very girly, just very pleasant. It's a pleasant perfume. That's what it is. It's lovely and it's pleasant. Yeah, that's my take on these 3 fragrances from Chloe. I've got my little smeller strips here so I can smell them. Yeah, I quite like the Absolue. The Eau de Parfum is kind of like the Absolue, but without any vanilla or any kind of a depth to it. And then the Roses is much more floral. It's a really nice floral. So that's my take. I won't ramble on too much more about these fragrances. I would be really interested to hear your thoughts. Do you wear a Chloe? Do you have a favorite? Is it not your thing? Why or why not? So yes, please let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time.